Penny for your thoughts.
I hate Brenda, and a bad guy hit me in the shin, and I peed all in my pants.
Do not wear that outfit again. But if you want to keep your spleen, because I want to fit in. Sorry, you're just not terribly important to me. Did you know that Whitney Houston's debut LP has 4 #1 singles on? Did you know that, Christy, there are no girls with good personalities? I don't think we should see each other anymore. It never was supposed to be. Gotta return some videotape. Have to return some videotape. Did you know I'm utterly insane? I like the guys, that girl that ate some of their brains. Gotta return some videotape. I'm really late. I guess I'm probably returning videotapes. I guess I'm probably returning videotapes.
The following program is rated TV-17, containing bad language,
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
sexual situations,
Like for you to take your pants off instead?
nudity,
Sure.
and graphic depictions of nut-crunching dick kicks.
Oh, I just had to kick you in the diddly again.
Parental discretion is advised.
right. Welcome, everybody. It is Sunday night. That means only one thing. I spelled my title wrong. I can't edit that, can I? Let's see. How do you spell your title on your own show wrong? That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. I should be chastised for that. Gio is what I said. Let's see if I can save changes. Save those changes. Nope. I gotta reschedule. All right, whatever. It is messed up for what it is. Welcome, everybody, to the Ronin Gio Show. Episode 36. It is Sunday night, kicking your week off here with me, your host, King Ronin, which I gave my nickname because, that's what badasses like me do. We give our own nicknames. Hope everyone is having a great weekend and getting ready for the week. Man, I am, not really looking forward to going back to work on Monday, but it is going to be an awesome week. My daughter's birthday is on Thursday, and so we'll be spending Thursday and the weekend celebrating her 7th birthday, so I'm excited about that. Shout out to my baby girl. Happy birthday. Also, in 2 weeks, I'll be down in Texas. If you guys are in the Texas area, I'm going to be at a convention called Boom Comics. Down there, I got a table. Going to be selling some Reaper Destroyer issues, doing commissions, hanging out, having a good time. It's going to be my first convention I've been to in 4 years. 4 years. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a fun time. Let's see what you guys are doing in the chat real quick. Let me bring you up on screen here. Give me a shout out to everybody. Let's see what we got going on here. We got Mark Penguin, as always. It seems like, as always, number one in the chat. Number one in my heart, my friend. That makes you.
You're number one.
Yes, sir, you are.
So, Mr. Penguin, a penguin is a bird that cannot fly. I am a man. I have a name.
And his name is Mark Penguin. Welcome to the show. We also have D-Wag says, bow. Good to you. Good to you, man. Good to you. Infamous Mr. Cursed. I like that. Good to see you. Tank Ferret's in the house as well. Great to see you guys. Thank you for being here. We have Rick Saylor, the first member in the chat. So first members get the honor of this.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I can't stop coming. I'm sorry. Oh, it feels so good.
It feels so good to have the members in the chat tonight.
The common thread in all of my failed schemes is human stupidity. People are just too stupid to accept me as their leader.
We also have a member of the channel Cosmic Studios in the house.
Afternoon. Stinks like sex in here.
Good times. I love it. Peter, what's going on, man? Hail chat. Hail Joe. Hail to you. I hope all is going good with you. I haven't talked to you in a little while. I got to get back on your show. It's been a second. I enjoy streaming with you. It's been fun. We also got Fugman4 in the house. Says, hey, dudes. What's up to you? Glad you're here. Hey, thank you. I like to try to make cool intros, be a little bit different than everybody else. We have a certain amount of intros you got to do to allow people to jump in the chat. People stream. It's busy out there. You never know when someone's going to jump in at the beginning of the show or whenever. But to give them a little bit of time to jump in here and try to make it as cool and entertaining as possible. Doc Brewski's in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Let me see. Who did I? Nope, didn't miss anybody. Mikey Madness is in the house. His cool intros, Joe, as well. Thank you. ORV 100. Hail CG. Hail to you. Yeah. I can't believe I did that. That's when I get too lax. I get too lax and too lazy about setting up the shows. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm just typing away, going real. I got this. And then, no, I mess it up. Chewy is your new nickname. Arlun says, yo, Jayo. Jayoe. I like it. Sean Martin's in the house, says, the Big Seven. Good to see you in here, Sheldon. I hope all is going well. And this is for you.
Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those fun shows. Where in Texas? Oh crap! What's the name of the town in Texas? Fuck. I don't know. I'll look that up. I'll let you guys know. Christopher Bouchard's in the chat. Welcome, my friend. Bonnie Brow's in the house as well. Hail to the Ronin Joe. Hail to the chat. Hail to you, man. Hope you guys are doing well. No, I got to look it up. It's a town that I don't know of. It's a place I've never been in Texas. The last few times I was in Texas, I was actually touring with my band, Mine Enemies Fall. Although I did drive through it last year on my way to California on vacation. But this is going to be an area that's a little bit, what would you call it? Southwest Texas. I guess. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a small convention thrown on by a friend of mine. Actually, the original colorist of Reaper Destroyer back in 2007. He was his name is Greg Harms. He was big into the indie scene back then. I think he's since kind of retired from that and just doing conventions now. This is like his third one or whatever. But invited me down. I was like, hey, trip to Texas, doing conventions, hanging out, taking the family with me. What else would you want? All right, let's jump into some stuff real here because I've got so at 11 o'clock, we're going to do something a little different. I've got the time scale is going to jump on and do an interview with me, about me, for me, of me. We're going to dive into some music and stuff. I don't talk a lot about my music days as much, and time scales is going to jump in here. The reason why we're doing this, we're going to do a kind of a simulcast. That's what it's called? Because our schedules just never line up. And so like, well, let's just do it on the same night. So we're going to breeze through the stuff we're going to do on the Ronin Joe show and then stick around for the interview at 11 o'clock. It's going to be awesome. Let's start out with some gay shit. I mean, not that we have to or want to or should, but we're going to. Unfortunately, because I had to see it, so did everybody else. Let's talk about it. So the other day, DC Comics dropped this cover. Did I share the wrong screen? No, it's on there. That's the right screen. Dropped this cover, and noticeably, right off the bat, I take two seconds to look at this, and I'm like, all right, so we're going in the gay direction here with the character. Now, I don't know if that's actually where they're going. It's just the artist's depiction of this. But you got to wonder why. You know, look. There's some artists out there that do ass shots of characters, and guys have asses, all right? I've got a very nice ass, very sexy ass. Women tell me so. If you guys are looking at it yourselves, other than picturing me naked, I would advise you not to. It's kind of gay. However, I can appreciate that I've got this. Now, the fact that an artist sat down and an editor also sat down was like, look, let's do a shot of Aquaman, but I want a real good shot of his ass. And I'm not talking about just like a man's ass. I'm talking about like a man's ass in yoga pants that shape your butt cheeks out, lifts them, and gives them that look that the chicks have these days. And that's exactly what we got here. Besides that, look at the face here. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. You got the guy liner going on. We talked about this last week, right? A lot of back in the early 2000s when it became popular. A lot of bands. I saw a lot of bands, frontmen and guitarists and all that wearing the guy liner. I thought it was gay back then. And I'm not quite sure why we're running this now. You got this look like, I don't know, what does this look, guys? What do you think this look is saying? Because painted on spandex, yeah. Everything's fine except for the face. You know, you're right. If you took the face off this, you could deal with the ass. I've seen Brett Booth draw some ass shots of characters and, whatever. But yeah, the face is what really throws it off. And there's this like twink, come hither look that this dude's got. Doesn't look like Aquaman. Doesn't look like a masculine character. Way too many feminine features. Not a lot of lines. This is very soft in the face. So, kind of showing that the beauty. That's what you do when you draw women. Very soft in the face. You don't use a lot of lines because you want to show that, like, the beauty. From an artist's point of view, that's what you're trying to do. With men, you can get more lines in there. It gets a little bit more sharp. It makes them look a little bit more masculine. And this is pulled off all that. That's like, if you were to put long hair in this and put this on a woman's body, I think that could pass for a woman. Surfs up, my butt is what that is. Woman's face, yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Christine Islands, jeez, oh my god, he's saying my ass is ripe for fucking. Leighton Gaze in the house says it's a really metrosexual face. Now here's the thing about, so if you want to push it to manga, anime, whatever, I saw the artist that did this, and I don't really know his name or who he is. I didn't recognize him, but he was definitely from the Asian persuasion, I guess you could say. And so maybe that's what he's bringing a little bit of the manga feel, anime feel to the characters. And they can sometimes with their male characters get a little feminine in the face for whatever reason. Some of that you can pull it off to some extent. This is just like, this is like a twink, right? Waiting in the shower. He's all dripping with water. He's just waiting. He's like winking at the guys coming in like, hey boys, YMCA time. You know what I'm saying? Mikey Madness says, I love Wonder Woman, but you can't show off her ass in her costume much. That's a good point. Remember back in the 90s, though, when she didn't have that skirt and she just wore like bottoms? You know, it was like really skimpy on the ass. The good old 90s when you could sexualize a woman the right way. I miss those days. Miss those days a lot. Let's bring them back. State prison beauty queen. No, it's all super gay. Says TA. Yeah. In general, I saw somebody replace the surfboard with a giant penis. It was like it fit. You know, it didn't even look off. Like it just fit because that's how this looks. So eels are the natural dildo. Oh my, it could be shockingly good time. He did this one for the lady boys. Yeah, and that's what I just don't like. You're drawing a cover for a very minute fan of readers, I guess, even if they are fans. You know, I don't know. It's different if you're drawing like an attractive man for the female audience. You still want to make him masculine, you know, hyper masculine, but get the body in there and all the stuff that the women find attractive about the male body. He did that with the body structure. Yeah, when the ass is a little bit too put together, but the face is where it throws it off. The face is where it gets thrown off. I mean, it's yeah, but you know, they made Aquaman cool in the 90s. Remember that? They cut off his wrist, they cut off his forearm, he had the harpoon, he got the beard, long hair, he was a lot more masculine, high tea. And then they went back to I don't know. It's the same thing they did with Bobby Drake, though. I saw somebody comment on this when I reposted on X. What is it with the ice characters and the water characters? They just want to make the characters gay now. I don't know. And I'm not saying Aquaman is gay, but he's drawn that way. Aquaman and the Pool Noodle Wars. I love hot tits. Tits are good. Oh, no. Oh, no. Leighton Gay says, Hilary Swank from Boys Don't Cry. That was a messed up movie. Or surfboards. Hey, Blue Boys, fuck right off is what you can do. You don't need to come into the chat anymore if you don't want to. Keep that shit away. I said it last time you were in here. If you don't want to support the channel, you don't want to support the comics because somebody voted for Trump, I don't give a fuck. Get the hell out of here. Thank you. Also, dolphins are underrated. Let's go. All right, what we got here? It's two put together. Yeah, you know, I mean, a nice ass can be a nice ass, you know, but let's pull it back just a little bit. Hail Trump. That's right. That's right. Namor was kind of cool, then MCU killed him. You know, was Namor cool, though? Power-wise, idea-wise, the original Namor was cool. Yeah, I'll give you that. He was cool. But yeah. Blue Boy used to harass Cecil all the time. Oh, nice. Blue Boy was in the chat for quite a while in this channel. Part of the show. We even gave him a shout-out every time he'd be in here because he was a regular for a little bit. But then he just went crazy. Lost his mind. Now he's trying to jump in and just do that political stuff. I'm like, whatever. I've got my political opinions on here. I share them, you know, but that's as far as it goes. You can have your own opinions out there as well, but don't come in my chat saying that stupid shit. You know, you can get out. Don't need to be here. Jay Lee Namor rocked. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Facts. Well, there was that. So I just subjected you guys a little bit of gayness there just because I like to torture you. But hey, you know what? I'm not going to do that without bringing it back around and giving you guys something fun to look at. So without further ado, let's jump into Everybody Loves Boobs. Everybody loves boobs. Speaking of boobs, all the things you find that just pop up on X. Megan Fox has made a rear appearance. I don't know where she's been. Is she married to that weird dude, Machine Gun Kelly or something? Is that where she's been? Seems like she's doing some kind of tour right now to rebuild her image. I don't know if it needed to be or not, but she dropped this and some other pictures too. I'm not going to bring them all up because we don't have time for all that. But wow. You want to talk about boobs? Everyone Loves Boobs was the title of this show, and here we go. I'm going to bring some up here. And Atlantis War, or Fantastic Four stuff was okay. Aquaman was always a bit goofy. Yeah. Democrats say I can't use certain words, so I use them more. I like that. Yes. The more you say no, the more you say you can't, the more you try to cancel, the more you try to do all that shit is the more we push back and do those very things. Right? That's what I'm saying. You gotta stand up to these people. They're all married to them weirdo dudes. Yeah, it's a weird trend, right? Weird trend in Hollywood. But Hollywood is just weird in general. You know? I mean, what can you say? All right, let's see. Yeah, but just shout out to Megan Fox. I don't know if she got a little enhancements there. I feel like her tits didn't used to be that big. But there you go. I respect your taste, Joe, and you can draw way better than me. Well, there's a lot of people who can draw way better than me as well. So we're all in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? Hail boobs indeed, Peter. Hail boobs. New 52 Aquaman, just saying. That was not bad, if I remember correctly. I just kind of remember what he was like in the Justice League. Kind of, briefly. We have KO Joe in the house. Good to see you, man. Usually he said, there it is. Greetings from Raleigh, North Carolina. Hells yeah. Well, yeah, you know, I had to cleanse the palate. Because we had to look at that Aquaman cover. So I need to bring up some things that are going to excite the male gaze. And not gaze as in gaze, the male gaze as in looking. You know, I got to clarify that for any of the liberals like Blue Boys in the chat. Definitely upgrades, yeah. So there was that. And, you know, it's just, the more you just scroll, the more fun things that pop up on my X. I appreciate it very much. I don't know if you guys remember. I remember, because I'm just old enough to remember Heidi Klum. She is 52 years old. She posted this on X, and I don't know exactly what she's doing. Let me enlarge that. There we go. There we go. I'm not really quite sure what's going on here. I mean, I can guess what's going on here, but 52 years old, not too bad. I'm about, what, 6 years from 50. So I'm 8 years away from being her. Wow, shit, I'm 8 years away from being 52. That's messed up. That's messed up. But yeah, I want to look this good when I'm 52. And I'm not talking about getting tits and blonde hair and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, these women are reversing age. You guys notice that in Hollywood? They're actually reversing age. And I'm good for it. Yeah. From the male gaze to the male gaze. Quite right. Quite right. Quite right. Yeah. Look at that. The boob trick she's doing. Good for her. Can you imagine being her son, though? He's, Mom, you're 52. Chill out. It's like I'm in my 30s. All my guy friends are really turned on right now. Rest in peace, DMX. Did he die? Are you messing with me? She's definitely crazy, though. Heidi Klum is? I don't know anything about her, man. Nothing about her except I know she was a beautiful model back in the day. Trust me, as a teenager back in the 90s. I remember fondly. But I don't know too much about her beyond that. Yeah, she makes her titties dance. She wins. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The gift from Germany that keeps giving. Yeah. God bless Germany. I mean, in certain things. We'll let that pass, right? We'll let that go. Yeah, but your mom's friend. Yeah, well, you know. I wonder if Blue Boy is hate watching or if he has moved on to another channel. I just assume that he's probably hate watching, jerking off in the corner, erotic asphyxiating himself. That's what I'm thinking. DMX passed a couple years ago. He did? Guys, I'm not into DMX, so I don't know. Okay. It's not the music I listen to. So you could I know the name, but I never followed him, didn't know anything about him. So if you well, yeah, you know, if she was my mom, I'd be like, you know, just do your thing. You do your thing and have fun doing it. You know, time is short, and go make that money. Go make that money. By the way, apparently being a weather reporter is dangerous these days. In Mexico? Let me pull that out. I need to hear you talk. Apparently this is what's going on. I don't know why. Lots of wind. Oh, okay. Well, shout out. RIP. He said he's just fine. Yeah. Bootlegger Entertainment is in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. This is the shit that popped up. We've been talking more and more about hot lady. I gotta clean the palette for the gayness that's going on out there. You gotta bring the hot ladies back in here and give the female body a little bit more of a shout out these days. The bright side of living in Mexico, right? Even in a hurricane. Could you imagine that you're going through a hurricane? Let me turn on the weather channel. I want to see the report. I want to see what's going on with this this massive storm that's moving in. But this is the entertainment. It kind of balances it out, right? I don't know. It might be a dangerous thing. Maybe you spend more time watching the TV and you're not really like, getting prepared for the storm, so bad things happen. I don't know. Hope you guys like that. I had fun with that. Cameraman could have panned up, but didn't, and I appreciate it. He could have. It's like, nah, this is ratings. This is gonna sell, and that's when you know it's a good cameraman. You keep him around for that reason. Reporter fingers are going through her dress. Whoa, watch out now. I ain't complaining. Me neither am I. Got micropurse coming in. We need to hire more women anchors like that. That is true. I mean, have you seen the majority of like foreign anchors? And I don't know, the shit could be all fake, but every time something pops up, it's like you got like AI. There's no way that was AI. Nope. I refuse to believe it. Mexican weather chicks are usually stacked. That's what I'm saying. Mexican. I've seen a lot of other countries as well. I'm fine with 100-mile-an-hour weather if this is who is telling me about it. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Cameron understood the assignment. Face smiling live. Yeah, cameraman knew what was going on. Shout out to him. There are heroes, guys, that don't wear capes, and sometimes they hold cameras. So let's go. Probably not AI, but definitely staged. It could, I was thinking it was probably definitely staged, but let's live in the fantasy that it wasn't, because that's way more fun to believe. Although the AI shit, man, shit is getting better and better. For the most part, I can tell when things are AI. There's been a couple that have fooled me, though. Like, that's just how good they're starting to get. It's sickening. It's sickening. It is AI? No way. All right, hold on a second. Let me get back there. Oh, Heidi Klum. Gotta get you off the screen. Oh, Megan Fox. Gotta get you off the screen. Oh, okay, let's get it off the screen. All right, there we go. All right. I just don't believe it. Let me jump in the comments here. Oh, I'm glad it's not on screen. Can't have that on there. I don't know. I think it's legit. I'm gonna go with legit. We're sticking with legit, guys. That's what we're doing. The palm tree in the background doesn't. God, okay, damn it. Let me go back and look at it. I wasn't even looking at the background. No, it's moving. It's waving a little bit. A little. It's got a little movement to it. Don't ruin my night, guys. Don't ruin my night. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm sick of AI as well. Her fingers go right through the dress material. What? How are you guys catching this shit? Apparently, you're looking way more detailed than I am. All right, let me look at this again. Oh, it does. Damn it. Damn it. Fooled me again. God, you ruined my night, guys. I was all excited. You ruined it. Are you happy with yourselves? Let's go over it again, frame by frame, for pure science. A woman in lingerie could tell me the meteor is going to destroy all life on Earth. I know. That would be the way to get the worst news, really. That's the way to do it. Seems legit. We're going to go with that. There's a background. It's a calm tree. Gays notice all the things wrong. Yeah, let's just appreciate what it is. All right, I can appreciate that in AI, at least. I guess. All right, 10:36. Let's just jump to the main thing I was going to bring up here. Because if you guys know, at 11 o'clock, I do have the time scales, who's in the chat quite a bit, coming on to do an interview with me. which we don't get a chance to do. He's on a different time zone with me, and it's hard to jump on and talk with him. All right. Show off your tattoos. I mean, kind of. I do that. Some of them are unfinished. Like this arm was like a H.R. Geiger kind of inspired theme for this arm. It was supposed to be an entire sleeve. I never got it finished, money-wise and stuff like that. And then this arm is actually a lot of the art I drew. So I drew this stuff up here. I drew that. I drew all of this. The tattoo artists, though, interpreted it themselves and kind of changed it up, which was fine. I worked with a really awesome tattoo artist. But the name of my band, My Enemies Fall, is on my arms there. And then I can just have this nightmare kind of scene. This spells strength backwards, forward and backwards. That I got that to represent my dad, who was one of the strongest people I know. Was going through a lot of health problems ever since he was 40 years old to the day he died at 76. And I got that to just honor him back in 2008, 2009. Got that for him. We had a lot of unfinished stuff. I got a tattoo on my leg as well, or my lower leg. But yeah, one of these days, if I ever get the money, we'll get some stuff finished. Where's YSA's in the house? Says, hey Joe, hope all is well. Hail the chat. Hail to you, my friend. Good to see you. Leighton Gay says, oh yeah, legend, the art legend. That is a fact. If you guys want a commission, go hit up YSA. Doing some fantastic work out there. First Santa, now this. Well, this is my solo show, so this is just me tonight. The Ronin Joe show is just me, because I tend to talk about things. I don't want to drag them in to whether it might be whatever I might talk to. It's my own opinions here. It's my solo show, so I don't want to drag anybody in if we don't have to. All right, let's jump into the cancel culture. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Scary Movie 6 is coming out, and it looks fantastic. Looks hilarious. I'm gonna kill the music here. We're not gonna watch the trailer because I don't have time to do that. But go check that out if you guys haven't yet. I went to Scream 7 the other day and watched the trailer, and it was awesome. But this video came up, and I really, if you guys didn't know, there is a line. Why? That's not what I want to do. There is a line in Scary Movie where
towards the end of the month as a new
stop. Where they use the pronouns, the he, her, him, whatever. And it was hilarious. A lot of people laughed at it. He's getting pushback for that. Now, what I like about this, and tell me if you guys can hear this video. So I watched this video, and this is kind of Damon Wayans' response. And actually, or is it Marlon? Marlon Wayans, sorry. The Wayans all look alike. This is his response, and I like it because even though this dude probably leans left, I would assume, because he's got a trans kid, what he says about what he's trying to do with comedy makes a lot of sense. And I think we need more of it. So let me bring this up. We'll watch this real quick. It's a couple minutes. I got just this part marked out, and we're going to watch it in 1.25 speed.
Film would be released. Wayans would take a moment to announce that Scary Movie will officially be back in theaters. Across the social media pages, he would film himself crashing a Scream viewing at a movie theater, only to leak the new Scary Movie 6 trailer.
Opening night of Scream 7, but really, it's opening night for the teaser of Scary Movie 6.
This better be funny.
Do some half gay shit.
Why just half gay? All right, let's go. That was good.
I love y'all too.
So in the trailer, there's a lot of jokes that push fun at the gay. If you remember the original Scary Movies, there's a lot of gay jokes in that too. It's just back in the time when you could have comedy where you could laugh about those things, and everybody didn't get offended and run to social media and have to post about their feelings and stuff. And I really truly believe that that's what we need to get back to in the world today, not taking things so seriously, because there are way too many divides out there politically, religiously, just in general. And we need to get back to where we can laugh at things. Like, it's okay to laugh at these jokes. It's okay to laugh at jokes that poke fun at race, poke fun at religion, gender, sex, all that kind of stuff. We can do that because that's why comedy is great. It brings people together because we can all laugh at ourselves. At least that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. And I believe that this is a way to kind of get this back. And probably says, good to see you, man. Says, I came in late. Did Joe and the boys leave the casino with wallets a little more hefty than they entered? Yeah, so John, Malin, me, and my boy Sean Aaron went to the casino yesterday and had a great time. We were there for about 3 hours. Well, probably a little bit longer, but we gambled for about 3 hours. And no, I did not win anything. This is the third time in a row I have not won anything. But I'm kind of learning the game. I'm learning the game of blackjack. It's fun to play. I've got earmarked the amount I can lose, right? I don't go there and like, all right, I lose this much. I'm gonna go to the ATM, pull a bunch out. Let's keep on going. Although I did a little drinking and the idea was in my head, but I resisted it. And so right now it's just to have fun. Let's just have fun out there. Let's go. Let's gamble a little bit. The tables are fun, talking to people, hanging out. It's a good time. But no, unfortunately, I lost the money that I went with. Yeah, they all look alike. Damon is bald. Okay. Well, yeah, I think the only one that looks different is the whatever. They all look the same to me. TA says, whoa, a Hollywood actor has a trans kid that kid, what are the odds? I know, man. It's when I heard that, I was actually surprised. It's like, come on, how many of these actors are going to have these trans kids? That's when you know that it's like it's a trend, but it's like a mental disorder trend that people are getting on board with this for whatever reason. It's becoming the trendy thing to do, and it's too many kids, too many teenagers going through the awkward period in their life, and for some odd reason they're trying to change genders because why it's widely accepted in Hollywood is pushed and it's trendy. That's really all it is. I guarantee you that's all it is. And then it's just covering up for mental, and the normal mental issues a teenager has to come up with in life, and also legit mental issues that should probably be looked at more than just, hey, chop your dick off me, come on. Mike says, cool, thanks for showing me. I don't have as many as you. I'm broke for tattoos. That's why I stopped getting them. It got expensive. Social media has ruined old school humor. It absolutely has. We got the Don in the house. So what up, chat? And my dude, the King, Joe, mother effing Sonntag. What up with you? The studio, Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. Go check it out. Great show. Such a thing as a beginner's luck. Sean had beginner's luck. He went with $20 a couple of months back and walked out with 180. So that is beginner's luck. I do not have beginner's luck. That is not me. The studio is now 2 times a week, airing Thursdays 9 to 11 and Saturdays 7 to 11. Oh, he's going head to head with my show on Thursdays. I see how it is, Don. All right, let's bring the competition. Let's go. But yeah, everybody go sign up and subscribe to his channel and tune in for that for sure. Good shows over there. All right, let's jump back into this before Timescales jumps on here.
That's a crazy reaction.
A part of the responses online in regards to the new trailer, many would share their excitement for the return of Scary Movie and its original cast, while some would label one joke in particular as transphobic and would demand others to cancel the upcoming comedy. The scene that has caused some of the backlash is in the opening of the trailer, where one of the main characters would end up being stabbed by the killer, and an onlooker would express he stabbed her, only to be corrected by the woman who was just stabbed that her pronouns are they and them.
This was actually the funniest part in the trailer. Like, everybody laughed because this has become so absurd, the pronoun stuff that we've had to deal with now for the last few years, well, maybe more than a few years. I've lost track, to be honest with you. But it's become so absurd that this has now become funny. People push back on it so much we can joke around about this, and it can be funny. We can laugh at it, although there's still a part of that community that gets their panties in a bunch.
My God, he stabbed her! Not her! My pronouns are they, them.
One user on X would respond, making fun of trans people is disgusting.
Making fun of trans people is disgusting, and it's not just a joke. Fuck you, Scary Movie 6. But it is just a joke. Somebody explain to me, though, how a joke can hurt the trans community or hurt trans people. If you're talking about hurting feelings, I'm sorry. I'm not here to monitor your feelings. Nobody's here to monitor my feelings. I'm not here to monitor the chat's feelings. You guys aren't here to monitor anybody else's feelings. That's on you. That's on you to figure out what offends you and what doesn't. And stop being such a bitch if this stuff does offend you. Stop being so soft. Grow some thick skin. Life is going to be tough.
And it's not just a joke. F you, Scary Movie 6. While another user who identifies as transgender would comment, pretty disappointing considering Marlon Wayans has a trans son.
And see, I didn't know that at all. This is the first time when I was watching this video. I was like, huh, interesting. Got Mo Biggs in the chat. Good to see you, man. It's been a second since you've been in here. I hope all is well.
Hey, Mo! Mo! What? I finished the drawer. What do you want me to do, kiss you? Well, go on, put it over there.
Let's do a lot of kissing, you know? Let's just do it, is what I have to say. We've got also Rachel Brinkley is in the house. Shout out to Mo Biggs. Soft. The new generation can't handle jokes. Yeah, and they were brought up that way, though. You really have to you gotta blame Gen X for bringing up millennials the way they brought them up, and then millennials for bringing up what Gen Z now, how they brought them up. Nobody can handle certain things anymore, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. Skeleton Comics is in the house. Says, hail Mo Biggs, good to see you. Did I miss anybody else jumping in here? Jokes kill Joe, says Rick. Yes, they do, unfortunately, to certain people. You know, I grew up, though, and I've said this before 1,000 times on this channel. My parents always taught me sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And that's something I live by. Words can't hurt you, not unless you allow them to, which means you're too soft and you need to thicken your skin. I'm supposed to rate things. Okay, all right, let's get back to this. Finish this out.
Now, as mentioned by the last user, Wayans has recently shared.
Yeah, and this is what's disappointing. Just anytime I see parents in general indulging into their kids, I don't even want to say fantasy, because I think that's sometimes that's not even the right word to say. There is a problem when your kid thinks that the solution to their problems is changing their gender, but they don't know how much problems that's going to cause them later in life. And it's up to you, the parent, to guide your kids through the toughest times in their life, knowing that sometimes they might, resent you for it, but you still have to do it. As a parent myself, it's not always the easiest to tell your kids they can't do something they really want to do. But if you know what's best for them and you have the ability until 18 years old, as long as they're living in your house, you need to do that. You need to take care of them. You need to protect them from themselves sometimes. I'm not talking just about this. I'm talking about anything in life. And so I look at this as a failure of parenting, and it hurts my heart. It really does.
His daughter has transitioned to becoming a trans man in recent years, which has given him more understanding and openness on LGBTQ plus conversations. He even showed his allyship with the LGBTQ plus community by releasing a photo shoot on his social media. Now, despite Wayans having a trans son, some still are taking issue with the trailer's opening joke.
I don't give a shit that Marlon Wayans has a trans kid. I'm sorry if you're just realizing, but having a trans kid doesn't mean you can't perpetuate transphobia. Having a black friend doesn't mean that you can't perpetuate racism.
I mean, come on. I used to work with I work with black guys now, but it's not the same. When I was younger, when I was first getting into the workforce, like really getting into the workforce full time, working in shops, working in factories, that kind of stuff, worked with a lot of black guys. And the most racist jokes you will ever hear came out of their mouths, both towards white people and towards themselves. And there was a point in time, because we knew each other so well and we got along so well and we liked each other, that I could openly make a racist joke to their face and they would bust out laughing. That's how it used to be in the early 2000s, because everybody understood there was a joke. Everybody understood that we're poking fun at each other, and it, that comedy brought everybody together. So people like this, when they're like, you can't perpetuate that stuff. You can. It's who is going to be the ones that feel offended by it? This person, obviously. If for obvious reasons, they probably have something else in their life going on for just the way that their hairstyle is. Or, that's a big old forehead too.
That's just the way that those kind of things work. This is really specifically to the people who are in my comments with no profile pictures being like, I'm trans and I'm going to watch Scary Movie and I'm going to love it and I'm going to say the N-word when I do it. I don't give a shit.
These people always get mad when people in their party or in their group, the trans group, say like, hey, this isn't offensive. I'm going to enjoy it. That's the stuff that pisses them off even more. But those people, I think, are the ones that actually have a good head on their shoulders, because they can be like, this is who I am. It doesn't affect me what anybody else says. And these jokes are funny. I laugh out loud at white jokes and shit like that. I think they're funny. They're hilarious. There's a joke in here about the main chick, Sydney, or the character who plays Sydney or whatever she is. And she says something about like, I'm a Republican now, so I'm supposed to be racist. I'm taking that bad, but within the aspect of the joke, it was hilarious. I found it funny. I didn't find it offensive, Trans are supposed to be brave and resilient, but there's no room for jokes. Yeah. No, I agree. I made Fago rape me, and I regret. I raised a proper shitlord. She makes me proud. Hell yeah. Good to hear. I like that. Cursed Heart and Creation says, also, life sucks if you can't laugh about it. That's 1,000% true. I mean, 100%. Well, that's lower. Let's go 2,000% true. If you can't laugh about life, then you're going to have a hard life. Because there's a lot of things in life that are really hard. They're shitty that we have to deal with. The best way to get through our normal day with working a job, paying our bills, providing for our family is to have that laughter to relieve it a little bit. You got to be able to poke fun at each other. You got to look at life and be like, it's short. Life is short. Let's have fun. You know, let's not wallow in all this offense. Let's not get offensive about everything. I don't know. It's not something I do. Mascara counts as a mustache. I don't need words to feel pain as I have chronic pain for that. Oh, shit. Well, smoke some weed, lots of ibuprofen. I hope it gets better. I blame parents for being shitty and gay. Parents can do that, yeah. It's so important to have good parents, but yeah, you're 100% right. Mo Big says, to be fair, the guy on the screen right now is pretty comedic. That's what I'm saying. See, that's comedy, right? I don't even think he understands he's doing it, but he's providing good laughs for the rest of us.
Just because you're trans doesn't mean that you also can't perpetuate bigotry, that you can't perpetuate supremacy culture. White
supremacy culture by jokes. I just don't understand. Shit is not that important. It really isn't. It's a joke. People laugh and they move on with their day and it's done. It's not perpetuating anything. I'm not racist. I don't have a racist bone in my body. But I can laugh at shit that is racist. I can laugh at racist jokes. I can laugh at trans jokes. I can laugh at religious jokes, white jokes, Republican jokes. I can laugh at stuff that bashes me, and it's what it is. These guys need to learn to do that.
Supremacy, transphobia, being marginalized does not make you special. You are a trans person who thinks the transphobic jokes that are going to be in Scary Movie 6 and the joke that's in the trailer.
I've never understood feeling marginalized. I really don't. There's a lot of things in life that I've done that was like a minority or people look down at. Hell, when I was a kid, just being into comics was something that people shunned. It was like a nerdy thing. You didn't really talk about it with your friends when you went to school because you never knew who would make fun of you. I didn't feel marginalized. I was just like, fuck, I love it. I'm still going to do it. I still talked about it. Now, granted, that's probably different than, being trans or whatever. But again, these are choices we make in life. You make the choice. Deal with the consequences, good or bad.
It's hilarious. Guess what? Now you're just a trans person who's doing transphobia.
No, as conversation and criticism has continued, Marlon would end up sharing quotes from the article on his Instagram page via his stories. In response to the anticipated backlash and amid labeling one of the jokes from the trailer as transphobic, he would go on to tell Entertainment Weekly, what we're trying to do is bring back laughter. This is about bringing back comedy the way it used.
This is what I wanted to get to because this was really important. This is what I like. But Doc Brewski says it wasn't even a trans joke. It was a they-them joke. Yeah, that's a great point. But people you have to be offended over everything, right? And everyone lumps the LGBTQ plus minus colon sign together. And it's, the they, them stuff, the pronouns. People use pronouns all the time that aren't gay, they aren't trans, they're just idiots, And so it gets lumped in with that stuff. And now this becomes a trans joke. How, it's not one. Doc Bruce, you nailed it on the head. It's not a trans joke, but the trans people are all up in arms about it. And this is what we get. But the response by Marlon Wayans, having a trans kid himself, but this is what I like. And this is what I was saying, like, you got to cancel the cancel culture. Because I believe that comedians more than anything understand how bad it's been over the last, 10 years, where it kind of really came up, hit its peak, and it started kind of slowly been pushed back on and going down. He says, what we're trying to do is bring back laughter, Marlon tells EW. This is about bringing back comedy the way it used to be. This is stuff we talk about all the time. Why can't we do this stuff the way it used to be? When I was growing up, there was hardly any racism. Was it out there? Yes. But there was a ton of black movie stars, a ton of black athletes. People got along. You never saw that until I want to say about 2009 is when this kind of really started coming. It's because the identity politics came in, and it really started to bring stuff back. When someone tells you you're racist, there's a lot of people that kind of started not liking being told they're racist and maybe went the other direction. Maybe you made more racist out of telling people they weren't racist than they were in the beginning. But it never used to be like that. We used to be able to laugh and get along, and I remember because I was there. This is about bringing back comedy the way it used to be, and I think the only way to do it is to have cancel the cancel culture. I fucking love that he said that. Regardless of whatever his political beliefs are, whatever he does with his family, the fact that he's looking at this from a comedic point of view is beautiful. And we need more of this. More people coming up and saying, we're going to put this stuff back out here because this is when times were good, when we could all get together and we could laugh about stuff. And we don't get that anymore. I only say the N-word. Jeez, derail game. I don't say it at all. It's not a word I actually like, to be honest with you. But that is what it is. Rachel says, scary movie series is just a constitution of Living Color. I never thought about that. I never watched In Living Color that much. Were the Waynes all in it? I'm assuming probably. Continuation. Can't read. Skin color isn't a reason for me to waste my time on same as feeling what? On same as feeling man up. I got you. You know what? I'm an 8th black, so I can speak for all black people. When I say, let's stop being so outraged about stuff. That's it. That's it. Buzz is in the house. Good to see you, man. Says joke equals racism to SJWs. I know. There's a difference between real racism, which we all know, and jokes. The real racism, nobody's on board with. We all hate it. Denounce it, but jokes are funny. Jokes can make you laugh. Jokes can bring you together. When I watch stand-up comedians, Kevin Hart, he's always dropping racist jokes. A lot of times it's self-deprecating, but he also drops jokes about white people, and I laugh at every single one he does because he presents it in a funny way, and we can all understand it. We can all understand that it's funny. I want to get back to that being the norm again. Just this guy's glasses tells you all you need to know about this dork. The mustache is confusing. You don't have any racist bone because boners aren't racist. All bones are the same color. That's a good point. Marginalized as a result of a SPED education. I can't read either. Maybe that's why. I'm marginalized for being white in Canada thanks for my shitty government. That sucks. I'm a mutt. I don't think I've got I'm part black, part Puerto Rican, white in there, obviously. So I'm a hybrid. That's what I consider myself a hybrid. Let's go with that. Hybrid. I like that. Peter isn't racist. His brother loves Ironheart. Right. I don't have any racist bones, but the rest of me is completely. You guys are crazy. LGBT, I before E, except after C. 2, but I don't know how they got there. I blame the start of political correctness was a slippery slope of it. Yeah, no, it was. I remember when it started too. And I thought it was ridiculous then, and it did nothing but it hurt. It hurt everything. It hurt everything because we couldn't joke about anything anymore. We couldn't be, we just couldn't. And it led to what it is now. And I feel like it's coming back. I feel like there's been enough pushback, and we can all get on here and have a lot of fun. Hell, Zach, you guys know Zach Marisa comes on the channel. I'm producing his book, Mondor is Rising, that's coming out. Definitely go out and sign up for that. It's on Kickstarter now. But he jumped on, and for the longest time, we thought he was black. We didn't even know he was Greek. And then after we thought he was black, we thought he was Mexican. It was a funny bit that we could all laugh about. He never took offense to it because he understood the jokes there. It's all fun and games, Art always or will always have to fight or fighting involved. Geez, let me try that again. Art will always have fighting involved. I think if you care about it, just don't be a dick. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Yeah. Zach is cool. All right. Time scales. You ready down there? Good to go. Okay. I'm going to bring time scales on. We're going to do an interview about my band life. So please stick around. I appreciate everybody that's in here. Shout out to the 27 people that are in here on the YouTube side. Please hit the like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Share this out. Let people know that we're live. Shout out to people watching at X as well. I'm going to bring time scales on here. Grego, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, it is Joe M Sonntag. Long time no see, man.
Yeah, it's been a second. How you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you? You look good.
I look good. I feel good.
Nice.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. No, I'm losing a little weight, eating a little bit better, doing a little bit of exercising. I turned 44 this year, and I was like, I got to start taking care of myself. I'm actually blessed because my dad, who I'm not blood related to because I was adopted, but my dad started having major health problems when he turned 40. And for about 36 years, he had health problems after health problems. And when I turned 40, I didn't really think about it. But the more I get into my 40s, the more I'm like, I really need to start taking care of myself. I want to be around for as long as I can be.
Yeah, no doubt. I quit eating fast food a month ago. I think it was a month ago today.
Oh, nice.
So
that is still a bane of my existence, though. Like, I still love some Taco Bell. I still like some McDonald's every once in a while.
A bane of your existence. Yeah, it was
the bane of my
existence.
Was for me too. Yeah, it's
horrible.
So
I'm having a beer here. This is it's a Patagonia Provisions organic golden ale. It's alcohol free. Yeah. So tastes absolutely wonderful. Zero alcohol, completely.
Oh, so you're not going to get trashed on
No. There's no reason to worry. Yeah, somebody's going to stop by and interview you, and they've been drinking. No, don't worry about that. So it was mid-September of 2023 where I reached out to you, said, "Hey, I'd like to interview you." It was primarily about Reaper Destroyer.
Yes, sir. I remember.
The creative process that goes into self-creating an indie comic. And since then, I've been watching your show ever since. You have some great content on here. And
thank you.
At the end of our interview back in September 2023, I was learning how to do interviews. I started a YouTube channel because I have young twin daughters, as you know, and they were too young to do it. And I was like, all right, well, let me just get back on YouTube. What am I going to do? Interview some people. And you said yes, and I'm still grateful for that. And at the end of the interview, I asked you, was there anything that I did not ask you that you wish that I would have?
Right.
And you raised a really good point about your band life. So why don't we pick up and finish that conversation?
All right, let's do it.
Tell us about your band. Let's get started with it.
Let me do something real quick. Let me add this to the. Oh, I got pauses. Can you guys hear this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you guys something that is on YouTube, but it's a pretty good just rundown of my early band life. So this was a video I put together when I first started realizing you could advertise on YouTube. And I started putting things on YouTube, editing videos and doing stuff like this. I put this together in the, I want to say 2012. This is from. It was to promote the band as we were getting ready to go on tours. Here we go, guys. Bring down a little bit.
quench, they will never quench. I can see the bottom again. So fill it back up, consume the thirst. Breathing death in the laboratory. Let's go. Living. Hell no. Degenerate.
So, oh shit! Let me bring us back to the screen there. There we go. Now we're back on screen. So that was a little. I saw that on YouTube. I forgot I made that the other day. I was like, man, Timescales is coming on. We're talking about music life. We're talking about Mind Enemies Fall. I don't talk enough about or show enough about that previous life. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. So hope you guys like that, and go check us out on YouTube.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me on, Joe. That's wonderful. Like I said, I love your show. You know, watching that clip there, I can just imagine being in the crowd. Just that, all of that energy. I can imagine feeling every drum beat going right through my chest. And tell us what about the other band members? It looks like that you have 5 people here: 2 guitarists, bass, drums, and you on vocals.
Yeah. The band started out as a 4-piece. The first year, we ended up kicking out our first guitarist for various reasons. We made we made an awesome first album called Threaten, which it's all online. It's all on YouTube, and I really enjoyed that music. But it just, for some reason, it wasn't clicking. So we ended up moving in a different direction, and we brought in another guitarist, and we were a 4-piece then for another year, until we brought in another young guitarist named Alex Kelly. Now that's kind of where it changed for me, because Alex was he's 6 years younger than me. And so, but he's a talented kid. Like, he came in and was playing like well beyond his years, and he just brought like more, like, we had been doing it now at that point, we've been doing 4 years, really hard, weekends, anywhere we could play, we were playing, we were traveling all over. And he brought in some youth to everything with his style and stuff. And so we became a 5-piece band for a little while after that. And then we had a couple people come in and out, but we were a 5-piece band for the majority of our career. And you just had some great guys. I was fortunate enough to play with some really talented people. I played with 2 really good drummers during that time, a really good solid bass player, 2 actually good solid bass players, and 4 guitarists throughout the period of time. So we were together for about 10 years. And we had to kick out a couple members for different reasons, a couple people just quit for other reasons. It's the way it goes with independent bands, but I was all in, just like in comics. When I'm all in, it's just, I put everything I have into what I'm doing. And my life was just nothing but making music, touring, taking my own money and putting into setting up tours, buying merch. I didn't care if I was going broke, which I was there for quite a while. It was all about the experience and having fun. But yeah, the guys I played with were absolutely amazing.
Cool. So it's full on or full off? And
yeah, exactly.
You were full on. Now with this album here, when you're doing live performances, were you playing the songs from the recorded album? And if so, how did they translate from recording in a studio and into in front of an audience?
Yeah, we were playing all the songs that we wrote, except out the first album, after we kicked our first guitarist out, because he was the original guitarist of the band, and most of those songs were all his riffs. So we decided to go in a different direction, kept the name, wrote all new music. So we didn't play the old music anymore. But after that, everything we wrote, we played. As far as how it translated to the stage, I actually think that the stage performance, the stage sound sounded better than the recording, because sometimes when you get into the studio, there's compression, there's a lot of things that can go into the studio that kind of robs a little bit of the energy, a little bit of that natural raw feel that you can have playing live, that when you get on stage, all that's there, because I mean, when you're going into the studio, you're playing to a click, so you're making sure everything's on time, so like when you're editing stuff, like it's this whole process, and sometimes it can pull that energy, that natural energy that you would do if you're performing in practice. And a lot of times when we practice, we had people all the time hanging out and partying with us and just sitting there watching. So it was almost like we were performing every time we practiced. You gave that energy. So I want to say that the music is actually better to me live, and I'm very proud of our recordings. But if you want to listen to our recordings, which is awesome, I still do to this day, because I'm a fan of our music besides being in the band. But then listen to our live performances. I really like the sound that we had live, for sure.
Incredible. That's cool.
Fogman says, "Oh, you were the gay guy singing." That was me. What's up, Gooch? Good to see you, man.
Oh, hey, what's up, Gooch? So did you have any roadies? Have you had a bunch of chicks backstage?
Well, we definitely had a lot of groupies. That's for sure. It's stories to hold for a different time. I don't know if my wife is watching, but there was definitely it was the band lifestyle. You know, I mean, we had roadies for sure. We had people that would want to just come on and help us out just because they wanted to be a part of what we were doing. They wanted to travel with us, tour with us. We obviously had groupies in various cities and states that that we went and were popular in. So I mean, we kind of lived that band rock star lifestyle, even though we were an independent band. I mean, it's really interesting. When I joined the band and started playing shows, most of the time we were just in small bars. Maybe 10 people, 15 people, depending on what night you're playing and if the bar was even packed. But the way you were looked at was like you were something special. It's crazy because I'm like, we're just we don't at that point we didn't have songs recorded. We were just going out and playing, but people were like, oh, who you signed through, all these questions. And it's just like, wow, like these people actually think we're something good, which was one of the first indicators of like, yeah, we got something here with this band. Like we really do. Like we're hitting a chord with the audience. And it was at various ages. It was young to old because the style of music we had. If you were an old head and you liked Metallica and Megadeth, you could like us. If you were in the 90s growing up like I did and you liked Pantera and Slayer, you could love us. If you were newer at that time, you were into like Lamb of God or any of those bands that are coming out in the early 2000s, you could also love what we were doing. So we had a big variety of different ages that would be at the shows and all loved what we did, especially women. Older women are great. I'm just going to give a shout out to older women as well.
Yep, it is Women's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as the vocalist, what was your part in the creative process, such as writing?
I was really big into it. So for the first couple years, it was really a group writing. We would all jump in a room together. A lot of times the guitarist would start out with a riff, the drummer would come in, start playing to it, and you kind of get a feel with it. And after they got like a verse and a bridge maybe together, and maybe something that we could maybe use as a chorus, and I would jump in and start doing improv vocals, just making noise, singing BS lyrics, but just trying to get the feel of what the song could sound like. And a lot of times that would spark ideas, right? Like one of us would sit here and be like, oh man, that beat that you played, I really like that beat. Play that beat again. I want to try something with it. Or maybe the guitarist would just start improvising something and be like, oh man, I really like that. Let's do something with that because I want to sing over that, And then later on, it became me and Alex because we ended up living together. A lot of the band was supposed to move in. That ended up falling through. And so it was me and Alex basically that moved in with our girlfriends at the time. So him and I got to spend a lot of time together. We'd go get stoned. We'd go down in the studio. We'd just sit there and we'd write music. And he would write riffs. And I would tell him like, hey, I love that. Like, let's make that a chorus. Or we should make that a verse. Do we need a bridge? It's like really big. We need a big breakdown here. And it was a good working environment at that point. And we wrote a lot of our later music, just me and him sitting there, putting the songs together. And then we would show the other members of the band when they would come around and, they would add to it and all that kind of stuff. So I was big into the writing process.
Okay. Fug's comment there, drugs, ?
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna ask him. Okay. But going on with the flow of the conversation.
I'm very open. I'll answer anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you insert your own musical tastes into the music?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like I was a huge fan of Pantera. And so from my point of view, I wanted to have a Pantera kind of feel. Like I'm somebody that does a lot of research about the genres of entertainment that I'm in. I did the same thing when I was in comics, but with music, since I was already a big fan of Pantera, I saw a lot of their live performances online. I've been to shows before. To me, they were the standard bearer of how you performed, how you talked to an audience, how you put on a show. So when I brought to the band was that I was like, we need to do this. We need to have a entertaining live performance because there's so many bands at the time that we played with that were good technically, but they would get out there, they just play a song and then there would be absolute silence. Maybe the front man would get on the mic and be like, this song is called Pooper Destroyer or something, and then go into another song. No interactions with the crowd, and I was someone that's like, I wanted to talk to the crowd because I wanted to be like Phil Anselmo. So I would get on the mic and we'd be in a bar and there would be 10 people around and there'd be people sitting at the bar drinking with their backs to me. And I'd start talking to them. You know, I would start like pulling them into the crowd. You know, I start talking to the ladies, talk to whatever, and I would engage the audience, no matter how big they were, in between songs. And I use that to set up a song to go into another song, and then we would run through a few songs to keep that energy. My whole idea was to get you on a roller coaster ride. We want to get you up and then bring it down a little bit, put you back up, and so forth throughout the show. And so that's what I really brought to the band as the leader of the band, was like how we are going to be. And I got advice early on from a guy named Tommy Church, who was a guitarist in a band called Autumn Offering, or The Autumn Offering, which was a signed band at the time. He ended up actually leaving that band and going and playing with a band called Mushroom Head, which is out of Cleveland, Ohio. But he told me once early on, he's like, Joe, he's like, if you want people to believe you're a rock star, you got to act like a rock star. He's like, you got to carry yourself when you go. And that doesn't mean be a dick, but you have to carry yourself into the venues like you are an absolute rock star, that you expect people to be here to see you, and you're going to handle your business on stage like that. And we did. When we walked into a venue, especially after we were starting to get more established, you could feel the energy change. When Mine Enemies Fall was there and people you could hear it like kind of just circulating through the crowd and through the bar or through the venue, like, hey, MEF is here, like all this kind of stuff. And the energy would just build throughout the night. It would just build to the point when we got on stage, you could feel it. Like it was a legit thing that you could feel, and it fed us into the performance. And then just boom, we would go with our stage show, and then we just kicked the shit out of everybody that we played with. And I have a giant ego, yes, but I have no problem saying that we kicked the shit out of everybody that we played with, whether they were friends of ours or not. It was a competition. When we took the stage, I wanted everybody to leave that bar, that venue, the festival, wherever we were, talking about us and us alone. And we did it.
Sweet. Okay, so were you guys just doing this for fun, or were you running the band as a business?
Both, I guess. I mean, as much as you can know a business at 20 some years old,
Okay.
My goal and everybody else's goal in that band was to do this for a living. And that's why we toured. Most of the bands we played with wanted to stay within state or within region because they built up a following and they enjoyed going to shows that were full. We decided to step out. We're like, we're going to go to places where nobody's ever heard of us. We're going to reach out to contacts of contacts of contacts, and we're going to find a show in Iowa. We're going to find a show in Oklahoma or wherever. And we're going to drive out there, and we're going to play in a bar in front of 10 people, but we're going to make this part of our touring circuit. So I know the next time we come around, I guarantee those people are going to bring more people to the show. And they did. And we started to build up a reputation on the circuit that we would run. And then we started making our way out west, is where we really wanted to kind of establish ourselves, was getting out into the California scene. Let's face it, we're from Michigan. Yeah, RIP Dimebag for sure. But we're from Michigan, and there's no way you're getting signed from Michigan out of a bar. You're just not. You got to go to the coasts. Unfortunately, you got to go to the East Coast. You got to go to the West Coast and get the eyes of people out there and show that you can be something, and that's what we did. We were determined to do that. And we toured ourselves. We financed our own tours. We got paid for the shows, but I mean, a lot of times we would come home either even or in the red a little bit. But it was both fun and as a business.
Okay, so of all of the tour destination locations, what memories do you have of one or more that were just flat out kick ass awesome?
Oh man, a couple. I mean, a lot of places we played were really, really cool. A lot of good fans out there. But two in general, Texas was a fun place to play. We played in Fort Worth quite a bit. And there was a good draw down there because there was a good thrash metal scene down there. So we went in and fit in really good down there. And then in Oklahoma, of all places, we ended up getting a really big following in Oklahoma when we played there for a few years, and people used to come out really like in droves to the shows that we would play in Oklahoma. Like we were almost kings when we walked into Oklahoma and played.
Nice. So of all your songs that you performed live, what are some of your favorites and to perform live that you couldn't wait? You weren't going through a set list. You couldn't wait to get to that song and
yeah.
Why?
Man, that's hard because there's so many songs that I would fall in love with, and then I'd for whatever reason, fall in love with another song. But there was a song we had called Drop the Axe, which was a good thrash song. It had a good solo in the middle of it. And it had a good ending where it's just really energetic, hard-hitting ending. And we would use that song sometimes to open. So sometimes knowing that you're going to open with that, you're like, all right, I know I'm going to get out on stage and we're going to just kill these motherfuckers right off the bat. And they're not going to know what the hell we're going to follow. And we got all these badass songs to follow, but we're going to hit you with a heavy hitter right off the bat that people really loved. There's another song called Smashing Demons, which was the song that was in the video that I played for you. That was a big fan favorite. That was a drinking song, you know, all about partying and doing drugs and stuff. People really enjoyed doing it. I liked it. Had good rhythm to it. I remember the first time Alex Kelly, my guitarist, wrote that riff. He was like, dude, I got to show you this new riff I'm working on. I sat down. It was just the beginning of that song, that dun dun dun, and I was listening to it and I was like, oh man, dude, like that is kick ass. Like that is really cool. It's rhythmic. It gets you in a pocket. And it's a really like a headbanging song. And we started working on that. And I remember throwing the first couple lyrics on there was, I smoked down with the devil and prayed with the saints. I've done it all, but still I'm here. And one of these days it's all going to end. And I will find out which way was clear. And it was like, but till then I do what I do and I'll do it all again. Every damn day I'm smashing demons to the bitter end. And it was about drinking your problems away, which was probably not the best mindset back then, you know, when you're looking back, you know, healthy mindset. But at the time, as a 27-year-old or 26-year-old, when we wrote that song, I was like, that was our lifestyle, you know, drinking, doing drugs and partying. And that song just, you know, lyric wise, just it was basically everything that I felt at the time. And I loved it. It was one of my favorite songs to perform. And later on, we ended up putting an outro to that song. It was just live. We never recorded. It was just something you got to see when you came to our shows when we did an outro to that song live. And that was real fun because that was a little bit more of a throwback to like Black Sabbath, where we got a little bit sludgy, a little bit darker, and slowed it way down. And it was, yeah, if you can find live performances of that song, you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay, sweet. Now let's get to that question there, drinking and drugs. I was recently reading about the history of Def Leppard and when they had to let one of their performers go. And it was because he had an issue with alcohol addiction. So as far as drinking and drugs are concerned, did you guys ever have any hurdles? Did you have any challenges where perhaps somebody they weren't up to par because they were too high or drunk or something? Were there ever any issues like that?
Oh yeah. There's a particular show that we all joke about when we get together. We brought in a new bass player in 2009. He was a little bit older than us. He'd been doing the scene for a while. So he was in his 30s. We were in our 20s. But awesome, you know, and we established ourselves enough, and we had this hometown show for him in Indiana, and all of his buddies were coming out. And it was this big show put on by a promoter out there. We were like hundreds of people were going to be there. It was this kind of like festival thing set up in Michigan City, and we showed up at 10 o'clock in the morning for check-in, and we had open bar, which was a horrible idea. But they gave us open bar, and we could drink all night long. Tommy Church was with us, like I said, dude from Mushroom Head and the Autumn Offering. And that dude was like, he lived the rock star life. He's like, we're drinking. And so we started drinking at 10 a.m. in the morning, and we didn't stop drinking until Tommy passed out. By the time we took stage, we were so obliterated, except for my bass player, because he didn't drink. He just smoked weed. We were so obliterated that when we took stage, my drummer could barely play. Like, he could barely keep the rhythm. He could barely, keep the beat. The songs were so slow. My guitarist was fucking up. And I think they ended up saying that they made an excuse. Like, we had we had an equipment failure or something, or the PA went out. But it was really an excuse to get us off stage to kind of save us, you know. And what was good about that, though, it was a wake-up call, because our bass player was really pissed. And he's like, dude, I'm not in this to party, I'm in this to perform. And, we have a great band, and I want to make sure when we go out on stage we're playing our best. And it was a good wake-up call, because we needed it. Because at the time we were reading too much into our own fame, because we were getting really big, really popular. And we were starting to kind of get too much into our personas, our lifestyles of partying. And we forgot the performance that night. So we went back down the next time we played. They were like, everybody give us a second chance. And we went back down the next time and absolutely killed it, and just set a standard going forward that we were going to be a tight band, and we were going to be just an energetic band. And if you came to the MEF show, you knew you were going to get an awesome show. Didn't mean we made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but we weren't letting that get in the way again of a good performance. Now, as far as members go, we did have to kick out a guitarist because of a drinking problem. And it got so bad where it was kind of just like we couldn't rely on him to hit his timing or play the songs correctly. So eventually we had to move on from him, which sucks. He's a good friend of ours, still is to this day, but it was just one of those things. Like, you're hurting the band. We got to move on from you. We got to bring in somebody else that's reliable. As far as the drugs go, I mean, we did a lot of drugs, but that was more like in recreation time. I mean, there was a period of time there in the, hey, Spider, get the fuck out of here. Thank you. There was a period of time in like the 2013 or so where we got really into cocaine quite a bit, and we got free cocaine, which was the problem. And so it was one of those things where that was one of the first times where I realized that partying too hard could actually be legit. And I ended up getting off cocaine because I remember the come down sometimes was so bad that I remember sitting in my living room once. There was a big party going on, and we're drinking, smoking, snorting, and everyone's having a good time. And I just found myself out in the living room. I was sitting on the couch, and I was starting to come down from everything, and I got hit with like this just unbelievable depression, just out of nowhere. And I felt like shit. I had bad thoughts running in my head, and I woke up the next morning. I was like, man, I can't do that shit anymore. Like that has gotten to a point where like that's none. So I ended up pulling myself back, and so did some of the other guys. And we never got down that path where it really ruined the band. But that cocaine for a second, it was fun. It was really fun. But we had to stop it. So yeah.
Okay. So there you go, guys. There you have it. Straight from the mouth of Joe himself. So as far as non-substance, we got our answer there. As far as challenges, things that maybe seemed like you couldn't even get past this hurdle right here. What are some of the biggest challenges that you guys faced?
Well, I mean, from a financial point, there was a big challenge because it costs money to make music, to record music, just like making comics. Like everything costs money. You had to go into the studio, pay the engineer, then you had to pay to get it mixed and mastered, then you had to pay to get it made into CDs and all that kind of stuff. So financially, there was an angle there that was always hard. And then it was just, what do you want to be? And I have this mentality that I carried into the comics world. It's like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a hobbyist, or do you want to be, professional? And by professional, I mean, do you want to chase that dream and do what it takes to get to where you need to be? And I wanted to be a professional. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to do it as a career. Excuse me. I wanted to do it as a career. And in order to do that, you couldn't stay in your safe spot of just staying in your hometown, home state, home region and playing in front of the same 50, 60, maybe even 100 fans that would come out to these shows. You needed to really go out and risk going out on the road where nobody knew who the hell you were, going out there to all the elements of being out there. If your van breaks down, there's a lot of stuff that happens on the road, and it's just you and the guys. That was some of the biggest challenges, was to plan a tour, to get out there, to make a name for yourself, and then to do it again. Doing it once was one thing, but then doing it again, and then again, and then again, and then again, and not being satisfied until you reached what you got, and we ended up getting some really awesome gigs. We ended up getting on a festival called Rocklahoma, which we did every year for 4 years. We played on a stage. I can't remember the name of the stage. It was a smaller stage. It wasn't like where the big professional bands played, but there's still like 1,000 people that would come to that stage, So, and we went there and we rocked it, and we absolutely killed it. I mean, every time we would go back there, I mean, you want to talk about treated like rock stars. I mean, there's videos on YouTube of it where you get in there and the entire crowd is just like chanting your name and they're responding to you. And it's just, that's when it pays off. You roll into that show, you don't have a lot of money, you're hungry because you're not eating as much because you're reserving what you do have. But you roll into that show, and that makes it all the much better. You know what I'm saying? When you get in there and you have that performance, you're like, all right, all the hardships, sleeping in the vans, not being able to shower, running low on gas money, calling people up to borrow money because you got to get to the next town, you don't have enough to get there, made it all worth it when you actually got there.
Okay, cool. Was it the Oklahoma City Zoo by any chance? That venue that you're talking about? No, not that one. Okay.
No, we played in Norman, Oklahoma City. I can't remember where the festival was. Maybe the festival was in Norman, but that was a big ass festival. Like that was a big professional festival. I mean, when we were there, we played with bands like Megadeth and Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains. Zach Wild was there, Guns N' Roses was there. No, Slash. Sorry, Slash was there. So I mean, we played with a ton of great bands. There. It was the best exposure that we had going to that festival because we were there for the entire weekend. So we'd go out, we'd go into the campgrounds, we party, we'd hand out CDs, we'd hand out flyers, be like, come watch us. We're playing at fucking 3:00 in the morning on Sunday or Saturday. And, people would come out and they just packed that place. And it was like playing in front of like, I think the second year we played there was like 1,000 people. I believe they said that came through the door in that venue. So it's just, that made it so much better.
What's the largest crowd you ever performed in front of?
I think 2,000. I think that was the largest crowd that we got to, which was ginormous for a band of our stature, an independent band that was doing its thing. Probably about 2,000 people.
Okay.
Which
okay.
is awesome.
Now you mentioned the vans. Okay. And I wanted to go there, talk about tour buses or vans. Were you guys staying in vans down by the river, or did you stay in hotels?
We rarely stayed in a hotel. I think the one time I can remember we stayed in a hotel, and it was a particularly good tour that we were having. We're making a lot of money on merch, and we're like, why the fuck are we staying in this van? Let's get a hotel for the night. But most of the time we all crash in hotels. I remember one year we went down in 2012. We went down with the 5 members we had. We went down with our sound guy and our manager, and all 7 guys fit into a conversion van in a trailer, and we were packed in there like sardines, and we slept there and it smelled like fucking ass and balls. It was nasty. Or we find couches and stuff to sleep in. I mean, there's a lot of people that put us up after the show, and that was what was really good about the metal community is you play a show, somebody would come up to you and be like, hey man, awesome show, where are you guys off to next? And we tell them and be like, you guys have a place to stay? And I'd be like, nope, not tonight. I'm like, come stay at our house. So we go to their house, we party more, sleep on the couch, sleep on the floor, use their shower, that kind of stuff. So we did have a lot of people in that time that would put us up. So that was quite nice.
Okay. So you did a bit of couch surfing.
Oh yeah. I slept on so many people's couches and chairs and floors. I can't remember. But the good thing was we got to take a shower. Usually they give us food, so like that was the nice thing about it. Like, oh man, we're getting actual food, not having to go to Jack in the Box and get dollar tacos, which were good. Don't get me wrong, those were good.
Right. I just got to give a shout out here to Industrial Industries World Radio. That's my good friend DJ Glowing Ice over there in St. Louis, musician himself. So
nice.
So when you guys were spending all this time, yeah. So I'm just imagining the smell. I was thinking, man, I hope everybody had deodorant. But
yeah.
Did you guys ever get in disagreements or anything, or was it just hunky dory the whole time? Everybody's getting along.
No, I mean there was times where there were arguments. Never got any like fist fights or anything, but there were times where there's definitely arguments, getting up in each other's faces, yelling at each other. Maybe a couple shoving matches at one point or another. Shit's gonna happen. It's like when you got 5 guys together, you're all like brothers, which means you fight like brothers sometimes.
Right.
Somebody gets on somebody's nerves because when you spend that much time with each other, somebody's habit is gonna start ticking you off. And you just let it rub you the wrong way. But for the most part, I would say that the altercations were few and far between.
Okay. Now, you've touched on a low point, coming down from the coke, the depression encountered, and how you learned from it and realized, what the fuck am I doing, and then move on and get better. What was there ever any actual physical exhaustion as well, aside from mental, where you just
not at first. I mean, you talk about when you're in your 20s, you're the strongest you are, just physically, you had energy for days, I didn't really feel any tiredness until I started getting into my mid-30s when we were still doing stuff. And then you kind of started feeling like your body was slowing down a little bit. You weren't bouncing back as fast the next day from the partying. I know I messed my body up quite a bit, my knees and my neck, just from the amount that I would thrash on stage. Like I was a hell of a headbanger. Like when I was on stage, in my mind, I wanted to headbang so hard that my head would fall off. You know, like so I was throwing that thing around, whipping it around, just moving and stomping and doing, the Phil Anselmo stomp and jump and all that kind of stuff. And when you're younger, that shit doesn't hurt at all. And like the older you get, you're like, damn, my knees hurt, my neck hurts. I remember going to the chiropractor after I was like a couple years out of the band life, and my shit was all out of whack. My neck was not where it was supposed to be. My hips were way out of line, So it took me a couple years to get like my body back into working order. Just from the amount of abuse I put on it, just performing. But that's the kind of performers I was, and the rest of the band was too. Like I wanted to make sure that you came and watched a show of ours, I was going to give you everything I had on stage, and that was it. There was no doubt.
Okay, so what would you say if someone asked you, what do you love? What do you just absolutely love about being a musician or vocalist?
Oh, I love the creating of it all. I love the same thing with being an artist, but I love something coming from nothing, right? When you start, everything's a blank slate. You have an idea, maybe I have a song name. And sometimes I come to the guys and be like, hey, I've got a couple song names I want for the next album. I got ideas of kind of what I want to sing about. And then I'd be there in the practice room. Somebody would be playing a riff. We'd be listening to music and it would just click. I'd be like, that's it. This is going to be this song. When we give direction, and then it would start to build from there. We'd start giving our own ideas, trying things out, doing mock recordings, which we would just scratch track real quick just to see how things are sounding. And that was my favorite process when it came to writing the music, which is separate from performing the music. They're two different things. Like there's the love of creating something from nothing and making that music what it is, and seeing it come together into the final product when you're listening to it after it's all mixed and mastered, and you're just like, holy shit, like that's a badass song, and man, listen to it, it's awesome. But then going in and performing it was a different beast. It was completely two different worlds, because the performance was about, yes, we're playing the music, but it's also we are putting on a show. We're putting on a show, and we are engaging with the crowd. And the coolest thing about performing, I think I said this a couple weeks ago on my show, that unless you have performed before, you don't know what the feeling is. You don't know the addictive feeling that you get from being on stage, performing in front of people, and getting that reaction. Like, I'm sure if you're bad and people aren't checking your stuff out, it sucks. But when you are getting that reaction, and you're looking in people's eyes, and you're seeing people jumping around and moshing, you're seeing chicks doing their thing and just I fucking you on the stage, and you just feel this energy, and you're giving it to them, they're giving it back to you. There's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. And it's so addictive. It's probably the most addictive drug you could do, because once you experience that, you want it again and again and again, and you're always chasing, almost like heroin, you're always chasing that first big high. You're always chasing it until you can find it again. So like two separate things. Making the music, fantastic, loved it. Performing was another beast in itself.
Okay, so speaking of separate things, stepping away from music with your colleagues in the band, aside from music and traveling around together, and the vans and the couch surfing and all of that, what did you guys do for fun?
Drank.
Okay.
I mean,
fair enough.
We didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of extracurricular stuff, because I mean, most of us worked full-time jobs, so we're working all week so we can get to the weekends and just party. And a lot of our tours had to be done around vacation days and extra days that we had to take off from work to go out and do the bigger tours we wanted to do. So really our recreation was getting together and drinking when we weren't playing. The band would come up, they'd stay at our house for the weekend, and we'd just sit there, we'd drink all day, we'd smoke all day, we would practice, we would jam, work on new music, get the set ready for the next shows that were coming up. And that's what we did. You made you do some of the normal stuff, like go out and watch, see a movie or something like that. But that was basically it. And when we hit the weekend, it was just about the show and about the party afterwards. So
okay.
That's it.
So did you ever have any creative blocks, such as unable to write songs where you needed a couple of new songs and you just can't get into it? Were there any?
No, in fact, I think there were more songs that we never got to than we had problems, coming up with songs. Most of that is because I just had some really talented guys around me. Alex was always writing. He was always writing riffs, whether we use them for a song or not. Like he was just always playing shit. And if something caught my ear, I was like, "Hey, I like that. Let's make that a song." Or if he came, with a song. Same thing with my drummers. My drummers sometimes would just have this beat. They'd be like, "Man, I got this beat in my head that I've just been working on," and they just play with themselves without any guitar or anything. They just be playing the drums and they be forming a pattern that they would present to the band and be like, "Hey, I got this song. Like do whatever you're gonna do to it, but this is what I want." And so there was always somebody coming up with songs, including me. Like I would always sit down with Alex and be like, "Hey, I want a thrashy song, or I want a song that's like really slow and dark, or I want a really rhythmic song that stays within a pocket." And so I was always bringing those ideas. I'd be like, "I got this song idea. I got this idea for an album. I got this idea for this." So it was a very creative point. Like, I don't think we ever went through a period where we didn't have something that we were working on or working towards.
Okay. Now, what about critics? And I don't mean just negativity, but positivity as well. People saying that I went and saw Mine Enemies Fall and it was the greatest show ever, or somebody maybe just saying I went and saw these guys and they suck. I mean, what
we had more positive than negative out there for sure. There was this one person that wrote a really bad article about us in the some Grand Rapids paper. And I couldn't understand why. And then I found out later that he was friends with the band that we were kind of beefing with at the time. And so that was kind of like, just disinformation or whatever. And that's basically what it is. But our performance it spoke for ourselves. Like very rarely did we have a bad show like the one I told you about. But very rarely did that happen. I mean, so that most people, they liked us as people just in general, because we were polite, as far as being rock stars, as far as like, partying and doing all that shit. We were just polite people. We would talk to anybody. We'd talk to any fan. We'd make time for anybody that came up to us. We'd hang out with the other bands. So, I mean, nobody ever had a bad thing to say to us that we knew. So I never really had that much criticism. Some people didn't like the music because they wanted different style of music, and that's fine. You're not going to argue with those people. Like that's music, that's art, that's anything, Well, maybe we were a little heavy for these people, or maybe, they wanted me to sing more instead of scream. So you'd have somebody do an article and be like, "Oh, the song's really good. I wish the singer would sing more," that kind of stuff.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I got a final question here. One thing I forgot to ask you before the show, Mr. Sonntag, is how long do I have to pummel you with questions?
I'd say probably another 15 minutes.
15.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Another 15 minutes.
Right, cool.
Fugman, my band's name was called Mine Enemies Fall. I'll type it in the chat so you can see it.
Now, on the road, the road life, when you guys were traveling, I'm absolutely sure you're listening to music. Okay, so are you listening to other people's music, or are you listening to your own? And what other people's music were you listening to in those vans down by the river?
Oddly enough, we listen to a lot of other people's music. Sometimes we listen to our own if we were working on new music, and we had like a scratch CD of new songs that we had that we would take with. But a lot of times we were just our second guitarist, our other guitarist, or whatever you want to call him, Ian McGill was really good at putting together a library and cruising music. And he would have all sorts of different styles of music. Because sometimes, you're playing metal all the time. You're hearing metal all the time. It's kind of nice not to hear metal when you're traveling, especially if you're trying to get high and just like sleep, as you're driving 8 hours or whatever. So there was a lot of bands, like bluegrass bands, that he would bring just out of nowhere. But it had like some good driving beats. And it was more fun music that you could drink to and sing and have a good time. There are bands like, Trampled by Turtles, it's like, when I say bluegrass, it's like really like fast, kind of like no, I don't even know what you would call it. Not like your father's traditional bluegrass, but like this more like rebel style of bluegrass that was really, really fun. Yeah,
I don't.
and sometimes we listen to metal. I mean, sometimes we listen to older music, 90s, alternative bands. Just anything that was the stuff that we liked growing up that we enjoyed listening to. It was because we had a lot of time to drive, so there was a lot of music to listen to.
Okay. So what about collabs? Did you ever collaborate? Do a cover with another band, or is there one that you would like to do?
There was a lot of bands there where it became kind of a thing, especially when you knew a band that if you played a lot together, I would jump on stage with them and sing a song with them, or their singer would jump on stage with me and sing one of our songs with me, and we just kind of trade off spots. It's just kind of one of those fun things, especially when all the fans of both bands are together to see everybody on stage. I never did a collab when it came to like recording and putting something out, although I always thought it would have been fun to do. I recorded music with other people before just for fun. That it was never really produced or put out. But yeah, I mean, if you want to say fantasy, I mean, I would have loved to have done a song with Pantera when they were around, or Down, or Hell Yeah. We got to know the guys from Hell Yeah pretty well back in 2012 for a few years because we met them in Texas. Made a good impersonation with them. We were able to go hang out with Vinnie Paul, who was the drummer for Pantera, also the drummer for Damage Plan before his brother Dime got murdered. And then he joined Hell Yeah not too like a few years after that or whatever. But we got to party with them and hang out with them, so that was fun. I would have loved to have done something with them or had somebody from that band come and do something with us. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out there we never got a chance to do, but
Okay. So going back before all of this started, what walks of life did your other band members come from?
I mean, just pretty much the same as me, I mean, we're just all independent musicians that wanted to play music, that found each other in one way or the other through friends of friends, or I grew up with two of the guys I started the band with. I met them when I was 13 and 15, and so we just kind of grew up doing music, and we would meet people as they go, but just normal walk of life. It's probably the most interesting one was my second drummer, Nathan, who was from Indianapolis, who, when our first drummer left, we put an ad out to look for drummers, and we were trying out a few drummers, and he calls and answered the ad from Indianapolis. He drove all the way up, tried out for us. We really liked him. And then we found out he had a little bit of a criminal background that he had to deal with. And that was kind of interesting for a couple of years, as he actually spent time in prison, two different stints that we were together for like 18 months, a couple months to 18 months. So that was interesting just from his point of view. I mean, he was a good guy. He wasn't like, it was just stuff that he had gotten into before the band, before he got to us, that was just haunting his life. He had to get through that part of his life before he could move on. And that was probably the most interesting walk of life, because none of us had ever really gotten in trouble with the law, because we were just doing our thing, like playing music and doing our stuff. But that was a different thing dealing with his world. So,
Okay, just got a couple more questions for you here, if I could. I got about three more. Speaking of your colleagues in the band, where are they now?
Alex, my guitarist, he ended up settling down. He had a kid, got married, moved to Michigan City when the band kind of ended, to be closer to his family. And he's still down there, being a good family man, working hard, doing his thing. I still talk to him from time to time. One of my good friends, he was my best man at my wedding. It was my bass player, Brian. And he and I talk as much as we can. I mean, we're all living different areas now. He's just living a normal life. I don't talk too much to Nate. I haven't seen him in a long time. Same thing with my other guitarist, Ian. Haven't seen him in a while. So I hope they're doing good. It's one of those things, you lose touch when you're not doing the music thing for a while. And then a couple other guys I grew up with, I still see on a regular basis. My first drummer I met when I was 15, and we're still good friends to this day. Still see each other throughout the year. Big events with the families, because he's married, has kids. I'm married, has kids. So we all get together and do that kind of thing. But I saw somebody, I don't know if it was Sheldon, mention, you ever think about doing a reunion? I think it would be cool. I'd love to do a reunion. I just don't know if it's ever in the cards with the way some people's lives are. It's like everybody got busy. When you get a family, different responsibilities, all this stuff goes in. Even me, like I I stopped music and went right into doing comic books because I needed to chase loves. You know, music was a love, art is a love. And I went right from one love to the other love, and I never stopped, you know, in between. I was just picked right back up with the passion and the drive that I had for music and put that into art. And when that happens, it's like, where's the time? You know, like if we were to get together, you gotta rehearse, you gotta remember the songs, you know, that you haven't played in 10 years or so. You gotta remember how you played them and then get together for a show. And then it's like, is anybody gonna come out to the show? You know, you don't know. I mean, so who knows? You know, I don't think we'll ever do a reunion. We've talked a couple of times about getting together and recording some music that we never got a chance to record, or maybe getting together and writing some new songs. But that pesky aspect of everybody's got something to do at some time comes in, and we never do it. So we'll see.
Okay,
one day
gotcha.
maybe.
Beautiful. I see Rick Saylor. What's up, Rick? He's dropping some music links in the chat right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, check that out right there. Get your headphones on. So
yeah, I've got 2 YouTube channels. So I've got the Rona Joe channel that I do all this comic book stuff on, but I've got the Mine Enemies Fall channel, which is also me, which you might see me in chat sometimes under Mine Enemies Fall. But that's got a bunch of our live performances and a lot of our music uploaded on there. So just go there and check it out if you guys are interested, for sure.
Okay, so somebody walks up to you, says, Joe, I love your band, you're a success, and it's my biggest dream in life is I want to start a band and I want to perform live. What is the best advice that you could tell that person?
Just to do it. You know, don't wait for the right opportunity. Go find good, you know, same thing in comics. Go find quality people that you're playing with, and because that's going to make all the difference. Good, talented people are going to make a band, not just somebody that wants to be in a band. You know, like there's a big difference. But if you can find talented people and you have a drive, put your all into it. If you want to be just a weekend warrior band, which is fine, there's a lot of them out there and good ones too, but they want to play on the weekends and then just go live a regular life. If that's what you want to do, go have fun. Find some guys to jam with, go write some music, you know, print some t-shirts and go out and do your thing. But if you want to pursue it for a life, you have to be committed to it. And that's why when you're younger, you're single is the time to do it. So, I mean, if you're coming up, you're in your teens, you're in your 20s, and you don't have a lot of things tying you down as far as responsibilities, go all in for it. Take your money, invest into it, go out and travel, go out and play shows in different states, you know, get people to know your name. Don't just stay in your hometown and play to the same people over and over again. It might feel fun. You might feel like a king when you take that stage, but you're not doing anything to advance your career. So if you want to, get out to the West Coast, get out to the East Coast, find contacts out there, play gigs out there, spend time, spend money, spend effort, and just do it, and do it as long as you can do it. That's my advice.
Awesome. Joe, I want to thank you for having me on. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for answering my endless questions here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And the last question, here we go again. Is there anything that I did not ask you today and you wish I had?
Not really. I mean, you did a pretty good job of asking questions. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff we can go into, but nothing I think of that you didn't ask.
Okay. Very good. Are you there?
Are you there? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was. It looked like that you were frozen. So.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I was just waiting for you to wrap up what you were saying.
Oh no, that was it. I thought the screen locked up. So yeah. Hey, listen. Thank you for having me on. No, I don't want to picture Joe naked.
Just do it. Just do it, everybody.
Just ask him. Maybe he'll text you some racy pictures. But
I'm telling you,
yeah.
I used to do it back in the day. One day it might come back to haunt me. I don't know. I was pretty good at sending pics out.
All right, Joe. Thank you kindly. I guess I'll go ahead and see myself out here and let you wrap up.
All right, Greg. Thank you for being on. Appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Talk to you later.
All right. Peace. All right, everybody. That was the interview I was doing with the timescales. It was fun to have him jump on and do a simulcast. That's what it's called. I think he was streaming to his audience there. So that was fun. That was a good time. What is your favorite booze? Well, not anymore. I don't drink a lot anymore. I developed. So after a while, drinking a lot of liquor. Started out with Jaeger, right? You know, like that was a big thing in the 2000s with Jaeger, Jägermeister, Jaeger bombs. And then everyone graduated and started doing more whiskey and stuff, Maker's Mark, Jack Daniels, that kind of stuff. But after a while, I started developing some really bad acid reflux. I had to really pull back on that stuff a lot. But I guess if I had a favorite, I mean, I do like Jack a lot. I like Maker's Mark a lot. I don't really drink Jaeger anymore, though. The chat 3. Let's go. I like vodka. Oh, okay. I never liked vodka. I can't drink vodka. I don't know why. It tastes like I want to like some kind of taste to what I'm drinking. Mostly you're drinking to get drunk and all. I understand that, but like I wanted some kind of taste of what I'm drinking. That's why I like Jaeger, because Jaeger at the time just had like that licorice. If you like licorice, that was one thing I was like, oh man, it's like drinking licorice. Like, this is great. Good and plenty's. Let's go. Vodka I never got into, though. Tequila sometimes, maybe. Remember Chuck Norris shot? The shots were huge like 15 to 20 years ago. I don't know if I ever had one of those. I'm not sure if I have. I love Maker's Mark, but it's been really no shit. Yeah, absolutely. Tom Scales, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it. I think it went well. It was fun to talk about the band life. Appreciate you, man. Vodka on the rocks with lime. The only time I actually drank vodka was a vodka Red Bull. Was a drink that was popular there for a while. Maybe it still is. I don't know. That might have been the only time I really drank any, but I never did like straight shots of vodka. The same thing with like Rumple Mints or what's that cinnamon liquor? Fireball. Never got into that either. Fireball. Ugh, gross. No, not my thing. I like drinking as much as the next guy, but I had to really chill out there after a while. Health reasons, gotta take care of myself, as I was saying. While I still got some people in here, I think I've got 13 of you guys watching here. Let me give you guys a little bit of a preview. So I have a book coming out on March 28th, 2 weeks from now. I'm launching the Reaper Destroyer Preview Edition, which is a 24-page book, 15 pages of my pencils with full script that we're putting out. And I'm doing an experiment. I'm running a crowdfunder on my personal website, and I've been building it all weekend long. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek here, show you what this is going to look like. So when we launch on the 28th, Saturday the 28th, this is the page we're going to go to. And I still have to add a few things to this as well. So this might look a little bit different when you get there, but I try to set it up as best I can to what a crowdfunding page looks like through Indiegogo or Kickstarter or anything like that. And I think it came out pretty well. So this is my experiment to do it by myself and to bypass the crowdfunding sites where some people are upset with certain things here or there. So this is it. You come to the page, you got the header here, you got the shot of the main cover here, Reaper Destroyer Issue 2 Preview Edition, a little bit of write-up. You back the project here. We're going to go back down. The tiers are going to be down here. I got 4 tiers on this book. You got the cover A, cover B, the 1 in 100 variant, which is going to be only one of these books is going to be printed. It's for $100, only one in existence. When it's bought, it's gone. Sketch covers as well. There'll be a write-up area where this is just kind of what I had for the second chance, just to put it here. So, I mean, there'll be a different write-up here, but I just wanted to see how it was going to look. And then you get down to same thing. You're going through and looking at the covers here down throughout the section, kind of like you would do through Indiegogo, and then go down, see a example of the pages without the script. I'm not going to show off the script, but this is what it's going to look like with word balloons and everything like that. So this is going to be what the campaign looks like. And I like it. I think it's coming together pretty well. You can back. One thing I like about this is you can back anywhere you go. If you're on here in the header, you can back here. You get down here, you can back any of those. When you get down to the covers, every cover takes you to where you can back. Everything in here you can back no matter where you go. So at your fingertips, you can back. Let's see. Jump into here. Will this take you to the next page? You guys still? Yeah, you are. Good. So yeah, just really easy to set up. These are pre-orders though, as opposed to backing, but that's, you can pre-order the book here. And this one is going to be scheduled to come out in December, so it's not that long of a wait. But it's nice. The functionality is great. Still, you get all the sample pages there that I had from the other ones, and you can skip right down there if you want to do any add-ons to the other books. The cart is really easy. Pre-order, you can choose don't sign the book. You can choose a signature. It is $1 upcharge though, because it's a pain in the ass to sign the books. Just so you guys know. So that's it. Tell me what you guys think. I got to add a counter as far as that goes when it comes to crowdfunding. And yeah, we'll see. But that's coming along good. I was pretty proud of how that's looking. My favorite Reaper Destroyer is a Commander Shepherd. I like it. Acid reflux. That reminds me. You doing that keto carnivore? I'm doing a little bit more of it's my version of like carnivore. Just basically up in the protein, more meat, and less calories is what I'm trying to do. So I didn't want to go full carnivore. I didn't want to do keto because there's too many things I do like to eat. I like to have cheat days, you know. Yeah, go to superiorpresscomics.com, get comics merch, original art there. You can get that there as well. The main hidden enemy of Mass Effect are their giant aliens called Reapers. Oh, okay. I got you. Are these pages paper matte or gloss? Probably. I haven't decided that, to be honest with you. I haven't thought that far into the future of how I want this printed. Being that it's a sketch that's original pencils, there's a part of me that wouldn't mind having it be on like unfinished paper, but you can run into issues with unfinished paper as well. So maybe I'd have like a matte finish on the paper. Definitely not gloss. I'm not a big fan of gloss. I think it's too shiny when it comes to the books. You do some good YouTubers now and click that like. Yes, everybody click that like. Make sure you go over to Timescales as well. Give him a like and a subscribe over his channel. A lore dump. I like dumps. Meat. Humans are meat to eat meat. All right. I like that. It was a direction I didn't think we were going, but yeah, I do like that. All right, guys, it is midnight. I need to get out of here. A lot of people streaming. Go find a stream, jump in, tell them that Ronin Joe sent you. I will be on the Comicsgate Kings tomorrow night, wherever that might be. Usually it's on Etherman Skyver's channel, but sometimes it's on Shane Davis's channel, as it was last week. If you guys want cheap artwork, jump in, vote for me, and then buy my work. We auction off all the work at the end of the night, and you can usually get some really good work for a really good price as well. My daughter's birthday is this Thursday. Right now, I am planning on streaming at 10 p.m. on Otten Stuff. But there is a chance that I might just cancel it if I'm just too busy after the birthday party, dinner, cake, all that kind of stuff. But I will be back next Sunday for the Ronin Joe show. You can count on that at 10 p.m. And I appreciate you guys coming in here, hanging out with me as you always do, sharing this out, letting people know we're live, hitting the like button, doing all that good stuff. You guys are amazing. Also, don't forget, Wednesday nights, Hard Art. I think this week it's going to be on Shane Davis's channel, so check us out for that. It's a fun show. Raid Shane's, we're making fun of his reading skills. Somebody needs to be made fun of besides me, because you know I don't read so good, but somebody else needs to be made fun of. So yeah, go make fun of Shane. Do that. You tell him that I sent you to make fun of his reading skills. So that'll be that. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining me, and next week I'll see you as we get going. Have a good night, and as always, I'll just say, because you guys love it, I know you love it, because I love it. Be good to each other. Take care of one another. And as always, picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.